for fans of our football team. We closed that chapter last night. Chapter 1's closed. We get a lot of things we can learn from the game. I think there's a lot of learning moments that our kids took away. Obviously, we did not play a perfect game. We never will, but it was just an average football game for us. A lot of things we left out of the field: explosive plays on offense, giving up explosives on defense, letting someone run the ball like they did. It's not our MO, and stuff that we got to clean up, and we will clean up. But when you look at it all together, we played a really, really good opponent. I think West Virginia's a good football team. They'll have a lot of success this year, I think. I think they're better than they were a year ago. So so we can look at it and say, hey, we came out of there, played average, below average, whatever you want to call it, and got a win. And then we've got to play a lot better this weekend, have a chance in the Johnny Majors Classic, as you guys know, coming up. And I'll move on. Just going to the next game. At least an extra 2 days to kind of work on them, and it's exciting to have them come into Pittsburgh. Sounds like the first time an SEC team has been. You got the Florida Gator shirt on. Like, what's going on here? Get the guy a T-shirt. First time an SEC team coming into Acrisure Stadium. So we're excited about that. We know we're going to get their best shot. They're talented. They're athletic. They're an SEC football team is going to look the part when they walk into the stadium on Saturday. Coach Heupel does a great job. He's a football coach. Offensively, there's not a more explosive offense. There's not a faster tempo offense in the country. Alex Golish is also the offensive coordinator, but I think Heupel kind of does most of it. But Alex is a good coach as well, and they're good. They're going to snap the ball between 7 and 12 seconds, 75% of the time. So if you guys are up in the box, don't step away, because you'll miss 3 plays if you turn your head. So it'll be fast. They're athletic. Hendon Hooker, who we've seen for the last 12 years as a quarterback, he's still there. He's old Virginia Tech quarterback. He's got lots of weapons with speed everywhere on the field. And defensively, Coach Banks is the DC, and multiple coverages in front. A lot of stuff going on, and really good football team coming in there. Again, they knocked the heck out of Ball State early last week, so the Hooker was out after 61 plays, so they didn't play a whole bunch. And but we've been in a battle. So questions?
It seemed like Keaton was maybe a little more effective out of the shotgun than under center. When you and Frank went back and looked at it, was it a comfort level, or what do you think kind of is different?
Well, I think he's comfortable doing both. We're going to continue to do both. What appeared on tape to be, better, probably just coincidence. He's good under center as well. Again, you want to have the ability to do both. You want to do multiple on offense and continue to get better. We didn't play a perfect game. I thought Keaton played a really good game, really good, better than I thought when I watched it, live. He was. We thought he was late with the ball, but there was other issues with some of the routes that I won't get into the weeds with that. But there's some, he was waiting on his receivers to get where they needed to be, and they weren't there for whatever reason that we won't discuss. But so there were some things there. There were some angles that weren't right, where he's got to hold on to the throws away just because of some departure angles on routes and little things like that. Just details that you guys probably wouldn't see on tape. I didn't see. I mean, it's news to me when I listen to Coach Signetti. He's really sharp. So a lot of things that are everything's fixable. That's the great thing. Everything is going to get a lot better from week 1 to week 2, I think. But again, the opponent's going up as well, so maybe you don't see it with the naked eye.
Pat Servassier talked Thursday night about how something you guys struggled with last year was playing well the week after a really big game. He pointed out how he lost to Western Michigan after Tennessee, and how he lost to Miami after the Clemson game. He talked about how handling success and adversity is a big focus for the senior leaders and portraying that to the other players. What are some challenges that come after a big emotional win like you had on Thursday going into the next week?
Yeah, well, we've talked a lot for 8 years on handling success and handling adversity. I think our guys are used to handling adversity every day. They deal with it. We handled adversity well Saturday. We hung in there all the way for 60 minutes. Handling success is always a problem. It's always the biggest issue that you'll have with a football team, and hardest thing people have in life is handling it. And but I think handling success success this week when you kind of played shitty, let's put it that way. I think it makes it a little bit easier. How about that? So, if they can get excited about that, then good for them. You didn't see me dancing around in the locker room, okay? There'll be no dance, Jerry.
Do the extra 2 days help?
No question about it. As far as, emotionally for the
Put the
kids,
game
I
aside.
think so a little bit, but, we still drug it back up last night because we, try to, clean up everything from special teams, offense and defense, give the kids Saturday off, so, emotionally, I don't think the 2 days is gonna make any difference.
Pat, when you talked after the game, you were hot about how the run defense played. What did you see, and now that you had time to look over the film, a little bit of a longer weekend, that says like, hey, this is what we have to clean up to make sure this doesn't happen again?
I think it starts with coaches, and it starts with me. Anytime we're shitty, it starts right here with shitty head coach. And it trickles down to not making plays, and I think sometimes for openers you can have too much in because you're not sure what you're gonna get. And I think defensively it started with having too many things in that you're worried about. What if they do this, what if they do that? We better have that in, we better have this in, we better have some of this too. You're gonna have a flavor of everything in, and sometimes you put too many flavors, in, you're gonna have a problem. I think that's part of it. So to me, it's, on coaching, I went back and just kind of did a statistical thing on, hey, what did we call, what did we practice all week? I think we had 371 snaps of base defense, and then what did we end up calling? We wasted a lot of time, and I think sometimes like narrowing it down, never have played in West Virginia, you go into this game this weekend, we played Tennessee 4 times already, or this will be the 4th time. 2 at UCF, 1 in Tennessee, this will be the 4th opportunity to face that style of offense, the same kind of defense that they've been running, so, I think that helps you a ton, know what you're gonna get, what you do need, don't need, what you gotta be ready for. You always wanna have enough in it, in case they do something different, but I just feel like we practiced, too much of stuff and, which doesn't give the kids an opportunity to be cleaner. So I think that'll help us.
You got to face Joe Milton last year, Hendon Hooker this year. Do you see any differences or similarities between the two quarterbacks?
Well, we played them both last year.
Mhm.
I mean, they're both really good. I mean, Joe started the game off, and he's got a cannon of an arm. He's athletic, and he played well when he got in the other day as well against Ball State. And then Hooker came in. I think we turned Milton over a few times, which we've been known to do, and I think Brandon Hill had a nice pick against Hendon Hooker. So, they're both good quarterbacks. I mean, again, it starts with their offense. They do certain things. They take advantage of you. They have what we call these max splits, okay? And they're going to spread you out. I mean, you're going to be in man coverage all day. Even if you don't want to be in man coverage, you want to be in cover 3, good luck to you. I mean, they're going to be, the favorite formation is having 2 detached receivers. And the offensive line, the quarterback, and running back are going to be in this little podium area here. And everybody else is going to be lined up way out there. And that's what they spread you out. And so it is a spread, fast tempo offense. And both Milton and Hooker do a great job operating.
Is there a lot to learn from last year's win? Because it was, almost 365 days ago, is that too much time with the transfer portal and everything to really go back and look at how that team operates, or are you still breaking down that film and gathering a lot of information from the win last year?
If we're still breaking down that tape from last year, we got some major issues. We're like in slow motion, like a turtle. No, we've looked at that. We've looked at stuff all summer on Tennessee and every opponent that we play. So, we're ahead as far as where we need to be. We've dissected it. We know what we did well, what we did bad, what we have to do to fix it. But they're going to have stuff that they're going to do to say, okay, this is what Pitt did well. We got to do this, and they're going to have their other options, and that's what happens when you play a team several times. I hope we figured out what we did fast.
You guys are pretty familiar with Hendon, and he's pretty familiar with you all. What have you guys been able to key in on, as far as his decision making that's helped him, have success when he's had success against you guys, and when you guys have been able to kind of get the upper hand on it?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing. It was just guys making plays. I mean, he's got a great arm. He's smart. Like I said, you look at where he is right now compared to where he was 2 years ago when he was at Virginia Tech. 2 totally different guys. Okay, and that's obviously a trip. That's no slam on what Virginia Tech did with it, but he fits into that offense, and he is, his quarterback coach is coaching the heck out of him. I think he does. I think he's really, really sharp. So,
Yeah, you mentioned the rush defense. How about the rush offense? What did you see when you looked at that tape and you can have a full complement?
Again, I think West Virginia was good up front. They packed the box. We didn't do a good job of adjusting to, they had the numbers in the box. So, we've got to give ourselves a more friendly box if we're going to try to run it. Again, was disappointed in the offensive line and the play. So maybe they had fat heads. Maybe they were thinking about how good they were and we're all coming back and we're going to be great. But they weren't, and that's flat what it is. So they should have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder this week to come back and show who they really are.
Back to the run defense, was it some failure?
You guys never talk about the run defense. This is good. Usually it's always the pass defense. What's wrong with pass defense? You can see how annoying it is when someone can run the ball. Like, it's not good, okay? And it just opens up everything. I mean, now they can throw it in, they can run it. So, go back to your.
Was there any problem with maybe failure to get off blocks?
I would say no. That wasn't, there's guys there to make plays. It was
Mental mistakes?
mental hesitation, poor fits, poor alignment sometimes. I mean, if you don't get lined up perfectly, it's a problem. So just a lack of detail of what we're doing, and sometimes it happens in openers, and I talked to a couple guys like, coach, it's a lot different than practice. Yeah, it is, but you got to make it the same, But that's what happens when you guys play for the first time.
Pat, I
Does it
have
say something about the maturity or the evolution of the program that you can play a game against a rival and play, in your words, average to below average and still find a way to win?
It does a little bit, I was just talking to Coach Stack, and we got GPSs on the kids, and we can see how fast they're going. We can't use the data in game, but just we got more guys running over 20 miles an hour than any time since we've been here. So our guys are running fast. I think we had 28 guys running over 18 mile an hour. So we got guys that are running well. I don't know, we didn't have the data back in 2015, but it'd be interesting to compare 15 to 22. But sometimes you give up a block punt. You turn the ball over. Bub Means turns the ball over. We gave them plenty of options to come back in the game. Besides the lack of detail, turnovers in itself can cause you big problems. You give a 5-yard drive, and we gave them all kinds of stuff that you can't against good football teams.
Pat, I'm gonna have to do the injury question that Jared normally does, but is there any word on it with Deslin and Rodney will be able to practice fully this week? How they're doing, or if
He
there's
just threw you under the bus, Jerry.
Huh?
So I'm used to it.
Jerry, I love you. I never threw you under the bus. Again, it's been 8 years, Chris, and I'm not gonna talk injuries. Those are private things, and when Brandon Hill was banged up early in the year, I'll never forget. In fact, we'll pull it up here. Hope, Adrian, she said, this is after, let's see, this is August 14th, it wasn't Jerry, I know it was Jerry. Hey Coach Narduzzi, I saw the interview on Friday with the reporter asked you about Brandon. Thank you for respecting his medical privacy. It looked like that question pissed you off. Thank you for caring about your players. I can see you care about all of them, but it goes on, and some emojis, and
Who was that from?
that's from Brandon Hill's mother. But it's just like parents. I mean, that's the first ever I got from a parent. It's like, you know what? Guess I'm not screwing it up too bad. Next question.
I know you like to block out the outside noise, but you guys are an underdog at home against a team you beat last year, coming off a year in which you won the conference championship. You might block out the noise, but is that a chip that you guys might play? I mean,
You know what? To me, you like to be the underdog every week. I don't even know what the point spread was last week. We were probably the underdog last week at home. Our crowd was the underdog for sure going into that game. But it is what it is. It's a good football team coming here. You've heard all summer about the SEC, and there's only really 2 Power 5 conferences in the country: the SEC and the Big Ten. So we're in the Pee Wee League, and we're going to line up to see if we can play.
that sets me up perfectly for what I was going to ask next. You guys, Florida State had a big win last night. You guys beat the Power 5 team. Carolina and NC State kind of, they escaped against teams that Group 5 programs that made bowl games last year. during media days, you guys talked about, hey, the only way to change the perception of the league is going down to non-conference and playing quality opponents and winning. I mean, did you guys at least feel like you struck the first blow for the conference over the weekend?
You know what, maybe, but I'm not worried about anybody else, just worried about what Pitt's doing and how we can get better every week, how we can fix our issues. I'm happy, last night I watched the tail end of that game. I was happy for Coach Norvell. I texted him this morning, anytime coaches have good wins, it's good to see. So, it's great for the conference, and I'm sure the commissioner's happy. I'm just worried about staying in our lane and doing what we need to do here in Pittsburgh.
Towards the end of
Taylor played, the last drive or so, the right tackle. How did he do? Did he need more time going forward?
Yeah, but I think Branson will get some more time. Probably maybe should have subbed him in earlier. It's a long game, and I think one of the issues is just subbing guys in. I mean, David Martin didn't get enough reps. David Martin deserved more reps. There's some things. Like I think Branson Taylor is a good football player. I think Matt might have gotten a little bit tired near the end. Guys, it's an emotional game. It's a physical game, and Branson came in and did well. So, I told guys, night before the game, Wednesday night, like, hey, this is an evaluation period. You put good stuff on tape. Tyler Wilkes should have got more. We should have got Tyler in the game more. There's just, at different positions, you get 2 or 3 plays, then we got to get you more. If you go out there for 2 and you look good, then we're going to give you more the next week. And that's, you try to earn those reps. So I think that's what kind of goes with. Sometimes coaches make mistakes and we don't sub guys enough and don't have a good enough plan or don't see, the amount of reps guys are taking or not taking.
You mentioned Wilson. I mean, obviously you didn't have Brandon, but were you hoping to rotate the linebackers more than you did?
You know what? Yeah and no. I think we wanted to, and we, for whatever reason, just didn't get to do it enough. But we need to. We just need to keep fresh. I mean, the D-line gets, some freshness. It helps develop those guys. And I don't want to find out what Tyler's like when he doesn't have any reps under his belt. So he needs to get his feet wet. It's power 5 ball.
Kevin had a lot of snaps, but not a lot of targets. Is there any reason for that?
We missed him a couple times. So he was open a few times when we didn't get it to him. But we'll get to him more.
Keaton
What'd
told
you
us
make
how.
of the expansion of the decision to expand the playoffs. I mean, I imagine that was in place last year. You guys would have been in the tournament. So
Yeah, it's been, it's great. I mean, we all want to play. Everybody wants to get in the playoffs, right? I mean, go to 25 teams. We're good. I think everyone would like that. It's still just what does it all, what all comes of it. I don't want to spend a lot of time on that. Get a big game up, but more teams, better it is for everybody. More people can say, hey, I was in that playoff. The key is let's get in it first, and then deal with what happens when we get to it. So everybody's got more opportunities, and opportunities are good. It's like I said over the weekend. It comes down to it better not be all about the money, and we better protect these kids. And I've said that 5 years ago we talked about going expansion and going from the BCS to the current model right now. It's just how many more games is it? Are we still playing a 12-game season? Are we still playing? I don't know anything. Again, that's we're getting into game week when we're into game day when that whole thing came out. So I don't know what's going on. And I haven't called to ask. I'm not calling the commission. I can care less right now. We got a game to play.
Keaton
Jeff,
told
we'll
us.
take you. I think, did you have one, Chris?
Yeah.
We'll take Chris and one more.
Thank you.
Corey.
Keaton was talking about how they were finding a rhythm towards the end of the game. He felt like that was coming along, and that part of that's natural. But what did you see from him over the weekend, looking over it, working with his teammates, being the leader to try to maybe help manifest that going into this week?
It's hard to see, all that. I mean, I just know he's comfortable right now. I think he came out of the game comfortable. Quarterbacks are always the leader. He's in my office last night talking about hey, what do I need to do better? What can I, how can I help? And all those things. So he's doing and saying all the right things right now. And he's a tremendous kid. If you spend any time with him, all it's like, wow. He went from Kenny to Slovis, and those are 2 good ones. And we got Nick Patton. It's just you gotta love him.
Corey, go ahead.
Ben Sauls converts all his kicks on Thursday. And Vanderhaar had that block punt, obviously. After watching the tape of that block punt, what can be cleaned up there? And thoughts on Ben Sauls going 5 for 5?
Well, again, Sam with his first, let's go to the good. then we'll go to the bag. The first thing is, Ben Saul did a great job. It's what we expected, that's what we've seen since spring ball, is the consistency, the mental toughness. Kicking is not easy. I don't know if I'd rather be a quarterback or a kicker, okay? I don't know if I'm mentally tough enough to play either one, I'd rather just go get somebody that got my way. And then going to Sam, Sam had a decent night. First time ever played a real football game. It was, great atmosphere for to get into it. But if you go back and watch every one of his punts, I think there's 6 of them. 2 of them he takes 5 steps and then a punt. Okay. The other ones he kicked it, took 3 steps. He's been told to take 3 steps and punt the ball. There's a thing called artificial, hang time that you like to get. The longer you can hold on to the ball and give our gunners a chance to get down the field, we feel pretty good with our gunners and the guys running down the field. But he's supposed to take 3 steps. On the one that he dropped down to the 3-yard line or 2-yard line, our guys milked it down to the 1 or whatever it was. He took 6 steps to his left, really 5 steps in a swing leg, which is the 6th, which gets you blocked and causes problems. And again, on that block, the protection wasn't as good. We can clean up some things there, but he needs to get the ball off. We didn't tell him any artificial hang time, just get the ball off. Give us a chance to go down and cover the punt. That's what he did do right. But, and he apologized right after the game, like, Coach, thanks for not benching me and all that. He's a great kid, and he made mistakes, and we were able to survive.
Okay. You're a touchdown underdog at home. Is that something you discussed with your group?
Not yet. Not yet. Didn't know it until found out about it a minute ago. So again, it doesn't matter. What are they? Whoever sets these odds, who knows? You guys are gambling. I don't. I'm not a gambler. And 5 points, 7 points, underdog. I like being the underdog. It's good. I will share it.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you guys for coming out on Labor Day.